Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first race of the season of season 4, race number 1 at Hungaroring. My name is Dominic, and with me is commentating today Sam Pierce. Hello, Sam.
Hello, Dominic. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, bit exhausted from an exciting weekend, but really looking forward to this race. If it's anything like the Tier 2 race last week, I think we're going to be in for some really great racing, some really good battles. Practice times have been quick, so yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, indeed. Today we're here for a 1-hour race. As you might seen our race calendar previously, we are doing a calendar of around eight rounds, I think it is, and starting with Hungaroring. Let us look at the circuit. Okay, we are starting with the start and finish straights. Going into turn 1 is a little bit difficult, especially in the rain. We've seen a lot of crashes in past years. It's gonna happen. Tight right hand corner. Going down to the second straight. Into another hairpin left hand corner, which is pretty difficult to nail. In a Formula 1 car, you need to go to the outside. With a GT3 car, you need to stick for the inside to go to the third corner flat through. Going uphill to the next corner, turn 4. Pretty fast left corners taken in third gear. Be aware of the track limits on the outside, and be aware to go fast to the left for the fourth corner. Down into the chicane. Pretty difficult to take, especially with a rear engine car. Pretty difficult technical second sector with all these tight corners. And then full flat through to this corner, down to third gear. As well, be aware of track limits. Do not take your car to the outside. And then pretty hard braking zone. Second gear, or even third, depends on what you prefer. Down into another hairpin, second to last corner, slow corner, second gear, and then full throttle to the last corner. Stick to the insides and be early on the throttle again for our finishing round. Yeah. The circuit is built in 1986, in less than a year, which is, in Formula 1 standards, the fastest track built. It has an overall length of 4.381 meters and a total number of curves of turns of 16. Yes, Sam. How are you liking this circuit?
I've not driven Hungaroring very often, but every time I've watched any of the big streamers doing races at Hungaroring, I always notice just how difficult overtaking is here. It's very twisty. The track is really bumpy. This particular track has been given the nickname of Monaco without barriers. So with overtaking being so difficult, qualifying is of utmost importance and around here. Getting a really good qualifying position is going to be really important. We do have one mandatory pit stop, so it does give some potential for potential overtakes, undertakes in pit lane, but improving your position is a tough ask around here. So qualifying is going to be really important.
Yeah, it is. And I think qualifying is underway already. Let us check out how it is. Yeah, almost 3 minutes in, and the first cars are on their first flying laps. Already now, we are now seeing Nick Daly by NDR in a Mercedes, which is a really interesting car to pick because it isn't that fast anymore, and especially on the Hungaroring, not the best car.
Yeah, and I think with this track, and especially within the chicane, you've got to take a car that is able to handle big curves without getting unsettled too much. There is the big long start finish straight, so top speed is going to be important, but this track is more corners than straights, so I think you're going to need a car that's quite nimble, easy to sort of chuck around, and fast accelerating. So yeah, it's quite unusual to see the McLaren, but this is a championship format, so whatever car you pick is the car that you're going to take for the entire season. So it's difficult to pick a car that's going to do well at every track, but I've got to say there are some, regardless of the cars that people have chosen, there are some fantastic liveries out there this season. Really loving some of the artwork on some of these cars. We're just looking on board with Nikolai Schroeder from Mode 11 running a lovely Sprite sponsored livery, which just looks absolutely fantastic on that McLaren.
Yeah, it is. I think I also spotted a Haribo livery car. I think it's a Mercedes driven by Schroeder, or Watkins. But it is another Mode 11 car as well. So Mode 11 turned up with some beautiful liveries. Really excited to see them over the course of the race and the season. Yeah, there it is. Driven by Nick Vargas, also Mode 11. Beautiful Haribo livery. I really like them.
I'm gonna really miss the zebra stripe liveries that Bas van Millis has run for the past couple of seasons. Really gonna miss that, but he's running a proper old school classic livery this season. When we're kind of giving our cameraman a little bit of a tough time trying to find all these particular liveries for us, but I'm sure we'll show you his livery when it comes up. Bas van Millis currently P18, and that beautiful black livery, which is the Uno Clinic, which I believe Chris was telling me is a throwback to one of the old the McLaren. I've lost the word. I've lost the race now. Le Mans. There we go. I know it's in there somewhere. Had a long weekend. So really interesting to see that already times are quicker than what was posted on our midweek practice server. So top time at the minute is sitting at a 1:43.4. Top practice time in the midweek was a 43.5. and in free practice just before we went on air, that time was absolutely demolished by Justin DeLong, one of our silver semi-pro drivers. Came out of nowhere and did a 43 flat. So there's going to be some really, really quick times in here in this race.
Yeah, we also improved our quarter lap of Tier 2 last week. So if you missed, maybe we watched it. But the pole lap of Tier 2 was a 1:43.767 by John Plants. So we are already 4 or 3 tenths, which is really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we would expect tier 1 times to be much quicker, but I'm really impressed with how quick the tier 2 time qualifying time was. It just goes to show just how competitive that field is. And then I expect this field to be just as competitive as well in free practice. Top 10 drivers were all within a second of each other, so everything is going to be really, really tight. Which is gonna leave us with some fantastic racing going into the main event in just over 12 minutes time.
Yeah, at the moment in Tier 1 there's really the top 18 in 1 second, not even the top 10, the top 18. You see how really compact this grid is, and we have an overall grid if everybody is driving of 39 drivers. So more no, not more, but almost a half of the grid are in 1 second, which is impressive.
It is very impressive, yeah. When we're starting to knock on the door of the real life lap record around here. So the real life record was set just last year by an Audi R8 of a 1:42.8. So very, very quick time around here for a real life event. And as I said, with Justin DeLong's time of a 43.0 in free practice just before we went on air, getting really close to that real life time.
They're going Mitchell's wide with Brabham Esports. Is it a livery and a team remembered of the old Brabham days? You might think.
Yeah, definitely with that lovely British racing green and gold color combination. That looks really, really nice. Jay, just looking at our split time between our top 2 drivers, Ben Millard and Peter Bernier, separated by 5 1,000ths of a second.
Wow.
So that is proper close.
Look at the top 6. Everybody in... not anymore, but until this point, there were the top 6 in 1/10.
And this is going to be a crazy race. I'm really looking forward to this with everybody putting in such close times. And I was discussing this in the commentary for a Tier 2 race last week, that this is the first round of the season when we've got quite a number of drivers that are new to the SSRI community. Less so in Tier 1 than in Tier 2, but there's still a couple of outliers in here that most of the drivers have not maybe driven with competitively yet. So there's going to be a little bit of feeling each other out, seeing where people's strengths and weaknesses are. If it were me sitting in this grid being this close together, I would be instantly thinking this is going to be a really, really tough season. But the good thing is, with everything being, as close as they are on times, it does mean that, someone makes the slightest mistake, and it could be a really, really big opportunity for other drivers. On the flip side, the tiniest mistake can be, quite costly when the field is this tightly packed as well. So, you know, tenths normally only mean a couple of places. At the minute, a tenth could be 5, 6 places or more.
So even if you think, okay, this lap was shit, and you're only improving by half a tenth or so, you're gaining so much. That's ridiculous. Never seen something like that before.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things that you know, being in a grid this close in time, it's a case of just, you know, go out and just lap after lap after lap. The slightest improvement is all going to help. And, you know, case in point, at the minute, we've got 7.5 minutes left in qualifying. We currently only have one driver in the pits at the minute. So drivers subconsciously listening to my advice. And as I say that, Thomas Van Schenk, who was the driver who was in the pits, has now come out to do some more laps. No, we're not quite up to our free practice time, but starting to get really, really close. That lead time by John Baton, currently sitting at a 1:43.1, and just looking down the field, got a couple of people who are improving. Narcots, currently 7/10 up on his previous lap time, so that's going to give him a big chunk of places if he's able to maintain that. And then, as I speak, he's just increased that benefit to a second, but for some reason he's come into the pits. It might have been out of fuel, which is why he was getting a bit of a wriggle on. But yeah, shame that would have put him up in a considerable number of places if he had kept that time. So there. Dave Jr. currently in P2, currently 3/10 up on his time, and that would be enough if he can hold on to that benefit. To give Beton a bit of a run for pole position. As he's just coming, I believe just coming into turn 12, so just kind of coming to the last section of the lap. So he's just going to have the final corner. Currently 0.4 of a second up, so this is looking really, really good for a pole time.
And
yep.
it is.
And manages to do it, puts him with 3/10 up into pole position. Really, really great lap there from Dave Jr. And as I was saying, a 42.8. That has beaten the real life lap record around here. That Audi lap time was a 1:42.887, and Dave Jr. has just done a 42.862. So fantastic lap time.
Yeah, unbelievable how fast these drivers can go. I would never have expected a 42 or something like that, but he done it.
Yeah.
So, really impressive.
And it looked like the car was, you know, fully under control. It didn't look like he was pushing beyond what the car was capable. So really, really great, solid lap there from Dave Jr. So just looking through the my timing screen here, Danny de Swart, currently in P20, currently showing as 4/10 up on his time, and if he's able to hold on to that, that is going to be a good number of places. That midfield really, really tightly bunched together. So that could potentially put him into P13, P12, so somewhere around there if he can hang on um, uh, to that time. He slipped a little bit. He's down to 2/10 up on his current time, which is a 1:44.0. But as we stay on board, he's starting to gain a little bit of that time back now into 3/10, 4/10 up on his time, just coming into the final corner. Let's see where this puts him up, and that puts him up to P15. So. That's actually given him a identical lap time to Ryan Walker, my co-commentator from GT4 last season. So yeah, good position in P15. But it just goes to show that just a couple of tenths are enough to give you, quite a good bump in the standings when the field is this tightly bunched together.
Venier improved his lap time. Now in second place.
That's a great improvement from Peter Venier. I think he was previously P5, P6 before that lap time. And Ben Mullard has just improved his time as well. So we've got just over a minute and a half left in qualifying. People are starting to really get their rhythm and starting to improve on lap times. There isn't going to be enough time for anyone who's not currently on a lap or just finishing a lap to go again. So starting to get to the finish now. Just looking down through the timing board. Vincent Velsek up on his time, currently 0.2 up, which will get him in a couple of places. Currently sitting in P13. Although he's gone just a little wide, coming out of the right-hander there. So don't think he's going to improve there. As Bas van Millis looks like he has a little bit of a face-to-face confrontation with the wall. And returns back to the garage, which is unfortunate. With just hearing that he was 0.2 up on his time, which is a shame.
Oh man, I just reading the name of the team by Oliver. Antennen Sport Wet Dreams. Oh man, that was an insider in the team itself between Oliver, Rene, and myself. Now he put it in. Oh man, this guy is ridiculous sometimes.
So
what can we do?
Just having a quick look in the YouTube chat, Timsy has come up saying, now that I see these times, I'm really happy that I'm in Tier 2. How do you feel about these times coming in, Dominic? You're one of our Tier 2 drivers.
Yeah, I'm a good friend of Timsy and battled with him last time pretty much the whole race, and I can just agree with his sentence. It's ridiculous how fast they go and how slow I am and he is between compared with them. And I would say we are not the slow drivers, but compared to them, we are. This is wow.
So it looks like qualifying is finished now. We've still got a couple of cars that are showing as being on track, but nobody is improving. So we click over into the wait time for the main race to start. So when you're in this pre-qualifying, pre-race period, what are you concentrating on?
Yeah, first of all, I just made my calculations of fuel and the strategy I want to go, which is not that difficult in this series because we have a mandatory tire change, which means you need to be in the pit for 30 minutes, 30 seconds, sorry. So it's almost the easiest strategy to refuel and not go out with full tank and refuel for 1 liter only. And then just concentrating on myself for the race start and just go.
So you're not one of these drivers that fiddles with setups in between qualifying and race,
No.
aside from fuel.
No, I don't.
Good man. I'm with you there as well. I think, and anyone who plays with a setup pre-race, they need to really know what they're doing with setups and probably know car physics a hell of a lot more than you or I do. Just noticed Oliver Anderson has just jumped into the YouTube chat saying that he ran out of fuel on the last corner. Such a shame. I was watching Oliver's lap on the timing screen, and he was up. I was surprised to see him pull over, but yeah, that's going to be painful. Running out of fuel on a lap that was going to be an improvement. But we're definitely wishing Oliver Anderson best of luck in the race. Commentated on Oliver's racing quite a lot in GT4. He's been our GT4 champion 2 seasons on the trot, so really looking forward to seeing what he can do with the GT3 guys. Have I gotten my names mixed up? I've gotten my names mixed up. I am so It was bound to happen. YouTube, I do apologize. Oliver, sincere apologies. Very sorry about that. I'm going to keep my mouth shut now, and let's go through the qualifying grid as we head into the race. So we have Dave Jr. In pole position with Peter Vernier lining up alongside. Row 2, we've got Ben Mullard, followed by Jean Beton. Mark Ambrinosa and Justin DeLong share row 3. Then we've got Ryan Leach and Sam Spankelink in row 4. Aaron Cleaver lines up alongside Chris Vickers. We've got Nikolai Schroeder alongside Thomas Van Schaik. And we've got Vincent Velsek alongside Regan Mitchell. And then we've got Ryan Walker and Danny Swart side by side in the 2 BMWs. Then we have Dennis Van Hoven and Nick Vargas, followed by Arvin Wagonmakers and Sander Vale. Then we've got Dan Linson alongside Oliver Anderson. Martin van de Kraan lines up alongside Nick Deely. Then we've got Bas van Millis alongside Patrick Tractor, followed by Dennis Verkman and Nelson Ambrinosa. Chris Penchbeck and Tim Nybor. And on the back row, we have Nard Cox. So, predictions. What do you think's going to pan out in this race based on what happened in Tier 2, Dominic?
Yeah, based on what happened in Tier 2, I think we have a lot of overtakes, but we know this track is pretty difficult to overtake, and with these lap times, what they did in qualifying, I think as well, we are not seeing that many overtakes. But I'm looking forward to it, and I want to be prove me wrong, and we have a lot of action down there.
Yeah, when we had quite a clean race for Tier 2, so fingers crossed we have then the same here. Just saw in the chat somewhere Frank Hopp coming in saying, remember, T1 is where you win. big smiley face. Yeah, let's hope that the drivers are sensible going into to turn one. Quite a heavy braking zone, and brakes are definitely going to be pretty cold. Tires are going to be below pressure. So yeah, tier one, turn one can be quite dicey here at Hungaroring. Fingers crossed, all of our drivers make it through unscathed.
Seen a lot of crashes down in turn 1, but as well a lot of overtakes, because we have a hairpin as turn 1, which is a good overtaking spot and pretty much one of the best on the circuit. So I think a lot of drivers will need, or will do have a chance to overtake, and will try to make a chance to overtake.
Yeah, and Frank Alpesgen just come into the, just reminded me in the YouTube chat, drive-throughs are a significant event here at Hungaroring. You mentioned the track limits coming out of turn 3 and again coming out of turn 11. We saw quite a number of drive-throughs towards the end of the tier 2 race. Just mixing things up quite a bit. So I think that is going to play a considerable have a considerable effect on the final race outcome. So if people can stay clean and stay on the right side of track limits, they're definitely going to be in a good position towards the end of the race.
Did we have a lot of drive-throughs in tier 2? I haven't noticed that. I was busy driving.
Off the top of my head, I remember there being 3. I may be wrong, but yeah, I seem to remember there being at least 3 in the latter stages of the race, all after the pit stops. So yeah, it was adding a bit of insult to injury for a couple of drivers. And I believe we even had one stop of 30 as a result of the drive-through as well, which is always extremely painful. Very, very disheartening.
But I see the drivers going into double file, which means we are close to race start. So every driver is now trying to catch up to the field, going into double file and be making themselves ready for the race, and just hoping to get the direction right.
Yeah, Pack's just coming up to turn 14, so everybody's going to be trying to get into their race start box, trying to maintain the start speed limit, and yeah, start line a little bit further down, and
green line, go.
Always catches me out as we go green. Junior and Veneer side by side, coming down into turn 1. It looks like Veneer's just managed to get out in front. Been a little bit of a bottleneck behind, but all looking nice and clean at the minute.
Oh, did we got a drive-through yet? I think I'm seeing a drive-through in the bottom right-hand corner.
Might have been for being out of position. Yeah, by Bas van Millis gets a drive-through. I believe that is possibly for being out of position on the start. It's the only thing I can think as to what would give you a drive-through on the start. So I have to go and look into that to see what happened there. But at the minute, everything looking nice and sedate out in front. Dave Jr. starting to pull a healthy gap on already. Then the gap 1.3 back to Jean Beton in P2, and Jean having a 1.2 gap over Peter Vernier in P3. So, and at the minute our tight battles are between P3 all the way back to pretty much mid-pack, are all still nicely bunched and together, but I think Dave Jr. just going to get his head down, start putting in some good lap times, and just try and extend that lead, just to give him a bit of safe breathing space.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a really clean race start, but I think not for Ben Mullard. He crashed out in turn 4 and really crashed his car, which isn't happening to him. He's now into last place.
Yeah. Yeah, so Ben Millis has now served in his drive-through and has come out. We do have a couple of cars in the pits that potentially have come a cropper of some contact at some point in lap 1. We've got Mike Ambranosa, Danny DeSwart, and Ben Mullard currently sat in the pits as we just sit on board with a replay. We're on board with Bass.
It doesn't look he's out of position. Maybe he was a little bit too fast, more than 70 kilometers.
It might have been speeding, yeah, because it didn't look like he was vastly out of position. So, yeah, bit of an interesting one. We'll need to touch in with Bass after the race and see what happened there. But Dave Jr. Already putting in the fastest lap of the race with a 49.3, which is pretty good, hadn't been heavy on fuel. Although, as we say that, Jean Beton has just taken a full 2/10 off of that fastest lap, putting in a 43.7. Starting to reel Dave Jr. in, that gap now down to 1 second. So I think there's going to be some interesting fighting at the top of the grid, as well as all of the tight battles that we've got currently going on in the mid-pack.
Yeah, but you see. Oh, there we have replay.
So this is what's the replay from Ben Mullard. Just got turned around. Not. Oh.
3 times.
Yeah.
I think this was great.
Yeah, and I mean it's so painful. You know, get just a little bit of a tap just spins you around, but because the field is so tightly packed together, it's difficult for cars to see what's happening. You know, too far ahead. So these sorts of incidents can happen really easily on a race start. You know, you know that there's an incident up ahead. You know, you get then the warnings from the game. You get the yellow flags. But you know, quite often your visibility is obstructed by cars in front of you. That sometimes, you know, but once you actually see the incident, it's too late for you to avoid it. And yeah, when poor Ben Mullard had to limp his way back to the pits, but managed to make it back, and is now back out on track racing, which is great to see. You know, you often see drivers rage quitting after an incident like that, especially losing so many places on the opening lap. But it's an hour-long race; anything can happen. So it's really, really great to see Ben back out.
Yeah, he hasn't lost his fighting spirit. That's everything what matters.
It is, and it makes such a difference to good drivers' mental state if they can, you know, shake off an incident like that. Something that I always say is that consistency is what wins you championships. I mean, my last race season in a different championship, I didn't win a single race, yet I came second in the overall championship, simply because I didn't give up. If there were crashes and things like that, well, you know, fine, just keep driving. You have no idea what's going to happen. A race can turn on its head within seconds. But you gotta be in it to win it, and it's difficult. You know, sometimes you just think, oh, why am I, you know, why am I bothering? Car's absolutely destroyed. I'm gonna be sat in the pits for 2 minutes fixing damage. But you never know.
Yeah, you have to fight to the pick up like this way just to get this, at least a single point, because this point can win you the championship or lose the championship.
Yeah.
I've seen it several times in the last few years where it was.
Yeah, and you know, this is only the first race of the championship. You know, who knows what's going to happen in the next 6 rounds. You know, when our next round out is going to be Snetterton. And you know, most drivers don't like Snetterton, and as a track it's very, very difficult, not very popular in public lobbies, so people are not that familiar with racing it. So, you know, great opportunity to pick up points, as we're just on board with Dennis Berkman in a time battle that's Chris Pinchbeck up in front, but he's going to have to be careful with Dealey quite close behind. I've just noticed that Tim Nybor has managed to get himself a drive-through penalty as well. I'd be very surprised if that was track limits this early on in the race, but who knows, might very well be. For a second I thought that Dennis Berkman got tapped up the back by Dealey, but it looks like he's kept it all together in that very, very bright Mercedes. That is probably the brightest green that I have seen on a car in a long time. Again, one of our Mod 11 drivers as well, so yeah, they're definitely getting known for their liveries.
Yeah. This green just let me remember or even the yellow on the car. Let me remember of the Greeno and the Grello of Manta Racing.
Yeah. Yeah, as Tim Nybor comes in to... I'm hoping he's actually taking his pit stop, so I hope he realizes that he has a drive-through and that taking your pit stop won't count as your drive-through, so Tim is going to have to come back in again. So there could be some choice language in that cockpit when Nybor comes out of the pits and sees that he still has that drive-through penalty. Looking at the bottom of the grid, a lot of drivers having served their pit stops already. It's going to be a long race to do 50 minutes on a set of tires, but these cars are more than capable of doing it, but they are going to be very, very grip compromised towards the end of the race. I know firsthand, certainly the Ferrari really, really struggles on old tires. It can get like Bambi on ice towards the end of an hour on a single set of tires. I've just noticed Chris Vickers, who we're on board with at the minute, a little bit of a reverse homage to the John Player Special livery. It used to be black with the gold outline of the JPS, but that similar livery looks absolutely stunning on white. And Chris in quite a tasty battle with Thomas Van Schaik in front. He's got Nikolai Schroeder behind. They're all battling for P7. Yeah, beautiful river finish. And in the bottom right, we're on board with Chris Pinchbeck, who has got Dennis Verkman and Nick Daly behind him. All three Mercs battling for P21. Currently, then the span between them is 3/10 between Pinchbeck and Berkman, and another 3/10 between Berkman and Daly. So that battle picking up down in the midfield as well. And just looking further up, Oliver Anderson getting quite close to Dennis Verhoeven for P16, and they've got Regan Mitchell insights as well, on 0.6 ahead currently in P15.
But Oliver stormed through the field. Didn't he qualify on 21? And now already P17 in 30 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. So he's had a really great opening stint. Doing really well.
And don't rise. The Mercs are battling. Right.
My focus was on the timing board. I looked back to the stream, and I just see a Merc sliding sideways at an incredible rate of knots.
And there's Eddie on the grass. He's on the grass. Oh my god. And yeah. He crashed out because he braked on the grass. Unfortunate.
Did he manage to keep it out of the wall, or is he now nursing damage as well as mowing the fields?
I don't think so. He could have it out of the wall. If he did, wow. But yet it's so hot. He was so on high speed. He couldn't decelerate, and he really crashed into the wall.
That was very quick, and I would love to see the replay from that to see if it was a case of he just completely sailed through his braking zone, or if he was assisted into that sideways spin across the track. Battle starting to form up and down the grid, which is what we'd love to see. Just looking up at the top, I pull my eyes away from the leaders for a couple of minutes, and the battle between Dave Jr. and Jean Beton, now 0.4 of a second, so that's starting to heat up. Beton still with the fastest lap of the race, so that battle is going to get quite interesting as well. Majority of the fight seem to be in the mid-pack. We're just on board with Aaron Cleaver, currently in P12, who has Nick Hargers in the back, and Ryan Walker just ahead in the BMW.
Look on the livery of Aaron Cleaver. It's just like remembering of the old days of Sauber, where they have Felipe Nasr as driver. Oh, he just tried to go inside, but didn't get measured. But back to the livery. It's almost remembering of the Blanco do Brasil livery by Sauber.
Yeah.
So
really nice color combination though.
Really nice. Once again. Bravo to every driver or every team with such nice liveries.
Well, just looking down in the field, currently a very interesting battle going on for P15. So a battle between Arwen Wagenmakers, Oliver Anderson, Dennis Verhoeven is getting in on the action, as well as Sander Vale. So a bit of a train starting to form behind Regan Mitchell. Regan being a little bit of a cork in the bottle at the minute. Gap of 3.8 seconds up to P13. So then this mid-pack battle from Regan Mitchell in P14, pretty much all the way down to P20 with Crafty Tractor. So that whole pack was in very, very close contention with each other. As we get a replay on board with what happened with Dealey. Just takes a little bit of a look up the inside. Misses his braking point, but does also get a tire on the grass as well. Exit stage left at a very, very considerable rate of speed. That would have been considerable amount of damage, and unfortunately, as we were mentioning earlier, some drivers don't take too well to having incidents like that, and unfortunately he has left the server. So then, just looking back down at Tim Nybor, still has not served his drive-through penalty, so I would suspect that he's got to be getting very, very close to, I believe you get a disqualification if you don't serve your drive-through. Is that right, Dominic?
Yeah, you need to serve his drive-through in 3 laps, and if he is serving his drive-through, he will get disqualified. Second drive-through.
So we've just been notified that this is Tim Nybor's second drive-through. Now, I don't know how you can get so many drive-throughs in such a close span of time. I mean, I know this track is bad for track limits, but not quite that bad. So poor Tim Nybor, in his day going from bad to worse. I suspect that this is going to put him out back behind Ben Mullard, which it does. Ben Mullard now just passing the start line now. As we go back on board with Aaron Cleaver, still in this battle with Ryan Walker, and Nick Vargas sitting in the wings watching this battle up ahead, probably hoping, if either of these two drivers makes a mistake, he's definitely going to be there to collect the pieces. In our other screen, we've got Jennifer Hogan and Wagenmakers. They're in quite a close battle for P17 with Dennis Verhoeven. So 16, P16 for Wagenmakers. So there's quite another tight battle that I think is going to be going for quite a considerable part of the race. This mid-pack were really close on their qualifying times, so I think a lot of this battling is going to be decided in the pits. As we're starting to see a couple of more pit stops starting to come in. Milsek just in the pits, just coming out of the pits now from his pit stop. So little bit early, Dominic, to be doing scheduled pit stops. I know we had a flurry of very early pit stops, probably to deal with damage at the beginning of the race, but with just under 39 minutes left in this race, do you feel it's a little bit early for people to be starting to think about pit stops?
No, I don't think so. It depends on what strategy are they on. So I would put my pit stop between 40 minutes in and 20 minutes out of the race. So just to make sure I can go out of traffic and have some clean laps and may overtake them. So it's just an undercut attempt, what they are doing right now. Maybe this will play out for them. We have to
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on where Vilsic ends up being once all of them the pit stops have panned out, to see whether that early decision to come in works in his favor or not. I tend to run my pit stops a little bit late, so I tend to go sort of half race plus 3 or 4 laps, just to give me some flexibility if anything happens early in the race. But I know pitting early is a strategy for some drivers. I've not really been able to make it work. Then Dominic, where do you fall? Pit early, pit late, or pit bang on the middle when you have to change tires?
normally I do it in the middle because I fuel for half the race. Oh, and look, Aaron and Cleaver spun out. What's that conflict?
That's decided that little battle, so it'd be interesting to see if we can ask our lovely Chris to find us a replay on that to see whether that was assisted or just a racing incident. While Chris goes in search of that, we're still on board with Dennis Van Hoven, currently in 15. I don't think that the timing board has updated from Cleaver spinning out. So yep, timing board is just updated. Dennis Van Hoven in 15. Still very, very close behind Arvin Wagenmakers in BMW. That gap currently about 0.4 seconds. Aaron looks like he's been able to recover from that spin relatively quickly, and has slotted in behind Verhoeven in P16. So he's been able to get a handle on that car quite quickly, which is good to see.
Yeah, back to the strategies. I normally pit in the middle of the race, just because of fuel for the half of the race, and we have to wait. Once again, there's a replay of Aaron Cleaver spinning out. What is he doing? Yeah, oh no, there wasn't any contact. He spun out on the curb.
Yep, and it looks like he just caught a little bit too much curb, and the back end of that Ferrari just went a little bit light on him. Although
now he's running out another driver.
Oh, he's just come in contact. I believe that is with that was Verhoeven. He's just given a little bit of a love tap to, and Verhoeven drops down to P18.
Oh! What is Cleaver doing right now?
I don't know.
He lost his focus completely.
Yeah, so Cleaver was looked like he was recovering from another spin, facing sideways across the track, and Verhoeven collects it right in the door. That's probably going to be quite a considerable amount of damage that Ferrari is now carrying. I'm really hoping that this isn't red mist that's starting to descend on Aaron Cleaver. The car's just looking a little bit feisty, so hopefully he's going to play nice, unless it's a case of his car is just so badly damaged that he's struggling to get it stopped and braking. But yeah, it looked like that Ferrari is a little bit of a handful. So this is Aaron's first incident.
Just been a little bit faster than Van Hoven and run into his back.
This is how he ended up being slightly sideways across the track. He gets a little bit of a nudge from, I'm not too sure who the green and orange vehicle is. Whoever was coming straight into the pits. So yeah, been bit of a difficult time for Aaron Cleaver, but he appears to be staying out. So the damage must be manageable, and he's planning on just nursing that car through to his scheduled pit stop, although Van Hoven is in the pits at the minute.
But look at Oliver. He's already in P13. Got 2 pit stops, so he got 2 positions up, but he's in P15 with those pit stops we have in the pit again. But wow, amazing!
Yeah.
Such a great race.
Really great race for Oliver Anderson. So yeah, he's on for collecting some great points. Just looking at the battle for P1, that battle has calmed down a little bit now. The gap between Dave Jr. in P1 and John Baton in P2 currently sitting at 0.8. So I think they've kind of settled down a little bit. John Baton still with the fastest lap, which is currently a 1:43.3. So race pace, doing low 43s, really good around here. And when we're just hearing that it was Martin van der Krant was the car that collected Aaron Cleaver, just heading into the pits, and he has come out in P25. So it looks like everyone from P22 down has made their pit stops. So we just jump on board with Dave Jr. of D-Dot Racing, currently sitting quite happily in P1, although it looks like he's now starting to come into lap traffic. So this is probably the time, certainly if I was in the cockpit, yeah, starting to come into lap traffic, best time to come in and get your pit stop done and dusted. Jean Baton decides to stay out and takes over the lead of the race with pretty much exactly 30 minutes left to go. So it'll be interesting to see if Baton can put in a couple of hot laps and try for the overcut.
We're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
So we do apologize for the slight jumpiness of the footage, and at the minute, hopefully this will be very temporary. As our streaming computer has decided to download some description just at the inopportune time, which people loved it. So I'm just keeping an eye on where Dave Jr. Comes out of the pits. Obviously, with all of these drivers being in such close proximity, it does mean that he's tumbling quite considerably down the order. Currently showing in P14. Just waiting to see if the timing board updates any further, but I do believe so. P17 is where he officially comes out. So just goes to show how closely packed then the top end of the field is, that a pit stop does you a good 17 places. As Jean Baton comes in for his pit stop from P1 in the race, which now promotes Peter Vanier up to the lead. I don't believe Peter came into the pits. So our running order at the minute is Peter Vanier, followed by Justin DeLong and Nikolai Schroeder are your current top three. So we'll keep then the picture in picture just to see where John comes out in relation to Dave Jr. just to see if his hot lap was quick enough to possibly overtake in the pits. It is going to be very, very close. John just coming to the end of pit lane now. Can't see where Dave Jr. is.
Here, there is he.
It just passed him,
Already
so
passed,
yeah, it's, we'll have to wait for the timing screens to update to see if he gained or lost any time in the pits. But just looking at a visual, looks like then the time between them is roughly about the same. I think they were about 0.8 before they went into their pits. As I've just noticed, Tom Van Schaik with a stop go 30 penalty, for more than likely for speeding in the pit lane. So Van Schaik, that is going to be quite a hefty penalty, and that's probably going to put him down a good 10-15 places at then the very least. So now that my timing board has updated, looks like then the gap between Jean Baton and Dave Jr. roughly about the same. Might have lost 0.2 overall in the pits, but the gap between the two of them currently sitting at about 1 second. And they are currently sitting in P9 and P10. But as you can see, a lot of drivers coming in to serve their pit stops now. Peter Vanier, Justin DeLong, Ryan Leach, Chris Vickers, Aaron Cleaver, and Sander Vale all in the pits at the minute, which puts Nikolai Schroeder as your current race leader with just under 26 minutes left to go.
It seems like a good job stop by Peter Vanier. Now battling into turn 1. Can he hold it, or is the switchback possible for Sam Spankerling? Seems like he's doing it, but we need to wait until turn 2, where Peter Vanier is going to try to stick to an inside. And he's still on the inside, but now has to step out because Sam Spankerling has passed him. And now Sam Spankerling needs to do his job well to pull away of Peter Vanier.
Yeah, it was a really, really great racing between the two of them. Sam giving him plenty of space, knew that he was on the inside. So really, really great, respectful racing there from both drivers. And I've just noticed Chris Vickers, currently in P9, unfortunately also slapped with a stop go 30 penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Nikolai Schroeder coming in for his pit stop now. It means, I believe, Dennis Berkman is the last car yet to pit. Currently sitting in B2, and he's just coming into the pit lane now. So, 24 minutes left in the race, and all pit stops now served. So, any changes of position now going to have to be done on track or as a result of penalties.
I'm really excited how this battle will end for the win. Oh, we have Narcox in the Audi on only P27. We knew he had we know he had a shit qualifying, and you need to remember he was championship winner of last season. So we don't know what happened to him, why he is
Yeah.
so slow. Maybe it's the Audi the track, or it's even the Audi. Who knows?
It could very well be the Audi. I have heard that since then the latest update, it has turned into a little bit of a handful. So then the ongoing joke of Audi things, I believe, has gotten worse. Not a car that I've driven very much before, but yeah, very very unusual to see Nards then so low down in then the standings. Fingers crossed that it is a little bit better later on as then the season progresses. So we jump on board with Chris Pinchbeck for Apex Racing, currently sitting in P21. Quite a respectable time there from Chris. They're doing quite well. And he's got Dennis Workman behind him, who's being hassled by Nelson Ambranosa in the McLaren P23. Filling his mirrors, trying to get Dennis to make a little bit of a mistake. But Dennis Workman, very skilled and experienced driver. It's going to take a lot to scare Workman into making a mistake. When just in our bottom right screen, just looking at a battle between Regan Mitchell trying to hunt down Ryan Walker in the BMW. This is for P10. So currently then the gap between them just 0.5 of a second. So it looks like Regan Mitchell has managed then to get that that move made. So it looks like when we came on board just then a hair too late. But Regan up into P10 with Ryan Walker in P11, and Regan Mitchell starting to close the gap, hunting down Nick Vargas in P9, currently about 2 seconds up the road. Just looking further back on Oliver Anderson, currently in P13, having a fantastic race, just behind Dan Lenson. This is a battle for P12. Currently that gap 0.4 of a second. So yeah, Oliver having a fantastic race. Again, just goes to show qualifying isn't everything. Even on a track where overtaking is difficult, things happen, people fall off. And is Anderson's going to get a fantastic result from this? It looks like this other four-way battle up in the top left. I believe Nelson Ambranosa has managed to get past Dennis Workman. So Dennis Workman down to P23. And yeah, Nelson Ambranosa up into P22, starting to hunt down Chris Pinchbeck. So we've got pretty much a four-way battle from P21 down to P24. So this is between Chris Pinchbeck, Nelson Ambranosa, Dennis Workman, and Mike Ambranosa. Those four drivers separated by less than a second and a half. So quite a tight battle going on, especially for this late in the race. We've got just under 19 minutes left until the checkered flag. But as we know, anything can happen in 20 minutes. I believe we've still got lots and lots of racing left to do. Just looking further down the order, Thomas Van Schaik gaining on Chris Vickers. So then the battle of the stop-go 30 drivers, they're battling for P25.
Oh, look at Oliver. I think Oliver will try to make a move now. Yes, he tries. Tried the outside, now becomes the inside, making a switchback. But again, on the outside for the next corner.
I don't think he's got the legs.
Oh!
Goes for a dive, don't touch.
I think they touched.
So there is a little bit of a touch, but then they both managed to get on the brakes, keep the cars pointed in the right direction. Yeah, Oliver Anderson doing the sportsmanly like thing, continuing to brake, not taking advantage, so that they can continue then the battle. Really, really great to see. So, and Dennis Workman, I think, is struggling a little bit. Mike Ambrinosa has managed to catch up quite quickly at then the back of this train. Mike Ambrinosa about 0.6 behind Dennis, and then this is a battle for P23. We go on board with the cockpit view of Mike Anderson's car, hunting down that bright green Mercedes in front of Dennis Workman. Nice clear target to aim for, having a car that brightly coloured in front. Although it's a little bit squirrely coming onto the power out of the chicane, and Dennis Workman now with a drive-through. So that battle then decided. Although while we've been looking in then the other mirror, Dan Lenson going side by side. No, sorry, Oliver Anderson going side by side. I believe that's with Dan Lenson. And that's Aaron wagon makers, Aaron wagon makers behind as well. So tries to get it done on the brakes, but doesn't manage to get it stopped quite in time as they go through then the chicane, coming into the mid part of the lap. So then this three-way battle definitely heating up, coming into the latter stages of the race. We've got about 15 minutes left, so I definitely think that a lot of the current battles that are on track, there's quite a few of them, then they're going to start heating up and getting a little bit more frantic. And just looking at my timing board, we have battles literally up and down the entire field. Makes it a little bit difficult for us because we don't know where to look.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then just running through the timing board. We've got a battle between P1 and P2, Dave Jr. and John Baton. We then have a battle from P6 all the way down to P8. That's between Vincent Belsack, Ryan Leach, and Justin DeLong. Then got a battle for P9 with Nick Vargas being hunted down by Regan Mitchell. And then further down, there's a fight for P15, currently between Dennis Verhoeven and Aaron Cleaver. And towards the back of the pack, we also have a battle for P21 with Nelson Ambrinosa trying to hunt down Chris Hedgebeck. So lots and lots of action on track. Unfortunately, we can't keep a track of all of it. As I've just noticed, Mike Ambrinosa now with a drive-through penalty, currently in P23. So it's all kicking off now, boys and girls.
I think we are now running into traffic for the first time. We have the Dave Jr. running up to a Mercedes, to his Reno Grello Mercedes. I think by Motor 11, unless I remember correctly.
Yes. Yep. So
Yeah.
that's Dennis Berkman after serving his drive-through penalty. So yeah, the leader's starting to come into lap traffic. We never want to see lap traffic playing a part in um, the outcome of races. As we see Dennis Workman pulling clear out of the way of the leaders, not wanting to get involved in that fight at all. But does affect then the gap a little bit. Jean Bouton now only 0.3 of a second behind Dave Jr. So this is going to stay quite spicy, I believe, for the rest of the race. And just looking down in the bottom right, we're on board with Ryan Leach, and this is the battle overall for P5, three-way battle between Vincent Belsek, Ryan Leach, and Justin DeLong. Vincent Belsek, he was one of the first to do a really early pit stop, so it's interesting to see that pit stop strategy has played out for him. Currently running in P5, so very good standing for Vincent Belsek there. As we're seeing then the leaders negotiating some more back markers. Doesn't look like they've got. Looks like they've got a fair amount of clean track ahead of them. So then they should be able to just fight amongst themselves and not worry too much about back markers playing any sort of role, because we're still on board with Ryan Leach down in the bottom left. And then the gap to Vincent Belsek extended just a little bit, currently sitting at about 0.4. Justin DeLong waiting in then the wings as well, currently only 0.3 back as well. So definitely a strong three-way battle for this is for P5 overall in the race. We look a little bit further down than the pack. We've got a battle brewing between Vaspa and Mellis and Sander Vale. This is a battle for P19 overall. Currently, the gap between Sander and Vass is currently sitting at about 0.3. So this is another that could get quite spicy as we come into the final few laps. So we've got about 10 minutes left. That works out at about 4 laps, I think. So somewhere around there. Maths are not my strong suit at all. So yeah, then definitely getting down to make or break time for a lot of these battles. As I said, we've got battles up and down then the order. Apologize that we can't give you live footage of all of them, but my timing screen is just flashing away at all of the tight battles that we've got going on.
Yeah.
So then Nikolai Schroeder starting to catch up to this pack that's battling, making this now a four-way fight for P5. Past Justin DeLong already up into P7. And then this is one of the things that I find so fascinating about on-track battles like this, is that you're concentrating so much on overtaking the car in front. You kind of lose sight of what's happening behind you, and battles can come out of nowhere from behind. And catch one a little off guard. Nikolai Schroeder literally coming out of nowhere to take Justin DeLong, and now right on the rear bumper of Ryan Leach, which is allowing Vincent Belsack a little bit of breathing room, because Ryan's now lost a little bit of time, and then so that gap now 0.7, so giving Vincent a little bit of a breather to relax a little bit, but yeah, then this four-way battle for P5, definitely going to spice up as we come into the dying laps of this race. As I've just seen on bottom corner, Dan Lenson just sat on the side of the track, has now just returned to garage. So I'm wondering if that's maybe a technical failure, or if he possibly came into very hard contact with the wall. There was a wall quite close to where he was sat. If the damage was bad enough that he wasn't able to move the car, he would have had no choice but to return to garage. So an unfortunate end to Dan Lenson's race there. So at the minute, this four-way battle for P5, our closest battle at the minute. Got a couple of smaller fights going on further down than the order, but as we just come aboard with Nikolai Schroeder, looking to make that move on Ryan Leach. Comes up the inside, a little bit of contact, but looks like he's gotten the job done. Just coming out of aid. But of course, I speak too soon.
Yeah.
And Nikolai Schroeder, a little bit of contact there, and it looks like Ryan Leach hasn't lost any places, has managed to keep that car going, but he's definitely dropped a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, it seems like the young just lost his rear end, and Nikolai Schroeder just caught up on him and spun him around. Unfortunate.
So it looks like we've gotten a little confused as to who got the tap. It looks like it was Justin DeLong that actually got the tap from Nikolai Schroeder. So our apologies there. But Justin still going, hasn't lost any places, although has brought a little bit of time to Nikolai. But then that battle for P5, as I said, is gonna keep hotting up. Just looking up at the leaders, that battle currently 0.4 of a second between Dave Jr. And John Baton for the race win. So just clicking up to 5 minutes left, and plenty of battles going on throughout the order. Just going to have a look at what happened to Dan Lenson. Gets a little bit of a tap from behind. Very odd behavior from the car there. So Wagenmakers lifts off and waits, but there must have been some interesting damage on that car with Dan Lenson. It's not really looking like it's wanting to steer or behave itself in any way, and it's just oversteering around every corner, and Dan, I think, does then the right thing, pulls over, and thinks that, yeah, it's a little bit too dangerous to continue. As we see that Aaron Wagenmakers gets a drive-through penalty for his troubles. Currently in the pits now, serving that. But just seeing Ryan Leach exploring track limits. That car suddenly looking like it's gone very, very loose on him. I'm wondering if his tires have gone off. I know then the Lamborghini does have a tendency to be quite tough on its tires. So this could be a possibility for Justin DeLong to try and get further up than the field. At some point while we've been watching the replay, it looks like Justin DeLong has re-overtaken Nikolai Schroeder, as Nikolai Schroeder is now showing in P8. So, and we're camera crews are on it, trying to find where that overtake happened. But yeah, Ryan Leach, that car looking to be a little bit of a handful at the minute, and just sliding in a little bit too much, coming out of some of the corners. So Justin DeLong could be, looking at that, thinking, okay, this is an opportunity. It's now or never, especially with 2 minutes left in the race. Let's just hope that if he does put in and move on, that it's nice and clean. While this is going on, I'm just keeping a sidelong glancing eye at what's happening with our leaders. Currently holding position, Dave Jr., who won Jean Paton in P2, but that gap getting very, very tasty. Currently 0.2, the second gap there, so that could end up getting quite interesting into then the last lap.
And Sam, got only 1.5 minutes left, and I think the leaders just crossed the line before 1 minute and 45 seconds left. So I think we got 2 more laps.
Great. Yeah, just seeing on the track map that then the leaders are just coming to the end of sector 1. So yeah, you're definitely right. We've got 2 laps left, then this one and one more. So got a little bit of an extra time to try and get a move done, but time is definitely starting to slip away from these drivers. If they're going to make a move, it's going to have to be now. Alright, so unfortunately we're unable to find the replay of DeLong's overtake on Nikolai Schroeder, but if we can take a look at what's happened with our leaders, then that gap is getting quite spicy. That's currently 0.2 of a second, as our leaders are just coming into into turn 13, coming round the final corner.
Yo.
So this is going to be close, but it is going to be the checkered flag.
What's last lap?
As Dave Jr. manages to hang on to the lead by 0.3 of a second. So really, really close finish to that race. So we go on board with Justin DeLong, as they are just coming into turn 13 now, heading towards then the final corner. Just looking further back, and I think looked like Justin DeLong was going to have a little bit of a look at the inside on Ryan Leach, but that little battle crosses then the finish line in very close order. Oliver Anderson just coming round to finish in P12. That's a really, really great result from him, from not very good qualifying. Aaron Cleaver, Dennis Verhoeven just coming across in P13. Aaron Cleaver crosses the line to take P14. So, well, we definitely promised you an exciting race, and exciting it definitely was. What did you think of all that action,
I'm stunned. I have no words. It was such great racing. So I haven't expected that at all. It depends. Comparing to the qualifying laps, were so close. So wow, so many overtakes, so many great battles. The whole race battle for the lead. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's always great when you have a race-long battle for the lead. I mean, when we see it so often in other forms of motorsport that the leader just disappears off into the distance and ends up being, a little bit of a boring race up at the front. But yeah, close battles, literally up and down the field, made our job very, very difficult, trying to keep on top of all of the action. But hopefully when we manage to cover everything for you guys, so I hope everybody in YouTube land enjoyed that race. We're definitely going to have more of it coming next week as we click over to Tier 2 for Race 2 at the always interesting Snetterton. So we've got some drivers who are waiting for some interviews. So just looking to see if we have any of our podium.
Yeah, we got
drivers
Sam Spankeling
in.
there.
Sam is in, so let's have a chat with Sam, and then we'll bring the other drivers in shortly. Good evening, Sam Spankelink. How are you doing?
Hello, other Sam. And I'm doing well, thank you. Bit sweaty.
Bit sweaty. So when were you feeling the pressure of that race?
I must say it wasn't too bad, but it was more me struggling with the car. It was really twitchy and really hard to keep under control, especially the first stint. I think the first 10 minutes I took out way too much of the tire life behind Pete. So I dropped off and had a lot of slides, which caused mistakes, which caused me jumping over curbs, going off track, but luckily no full-on death. So happy to make it to a halfway point, and then after the pit stop everything was much better, and I could actually do the pace of the front two, but they were really strong today, so no way I could catch up those 10 seconds. So kudos to them.
Excellent. So what have you been up to in the off season? What racing have you been doing, and how's your practice been leading up to the new championship?
My only real track experience was running on the Gilles de Villeneuve circuit in Montreal. So other than that,
nice.
I've not been on the sim. No, that didn't happen. Just running. Yeah, so that was a nice off season where I didn't do much racing. So today it's really nice to be back in the sim, back with the guys and the familiar faces. So it was really good. Enjoyed that a lot.
Excellent. And so we've got Snetterton as the next round out. I know a lot of drivers hate that track. What's your opinion of it? Then, do you like Snetterton, or are you dreading next week?
I think I'm dreading it. I'm not really sure. I've never driven it in a GT3 actually, because I'm already thinking about dreading it without having tried it. So I drove it once in the Maserati, in the GT4.
Yeah.
And I think I had square tires, so I really was crying all the race long. So
that's just the Maserati in general.
No, the Maserati is very good. Like, I love it, but that race it was terrible. So I hope in GT3s it will be a little bit better. I hope the Audi will treat the track a little bit nicer than here in the Hungaroring. I think I was a little bit down on the Ferraris in general. So let's see if it's a bit closer there, and then we'll see what happens. Probably another track where overtaking is difficult, so qualifying is going to be important, which wasn't my strong suit today, starting in P8. but the race pace luckily helped.
Fantastic. Great. Well, thank you for giving us a fantastic race this evening. Best of luck for Snetterton in 2 weeks' time, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sam, Dominic, and Chris. Well done as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So our two other podium drivers, Dave Jr. and Jean Peton, are not in the interview waiting room, but we do have some other drivers. So I'm just going to bring them in as a gaggle, and let's just have a conversation. So, Justin DeLong, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Oliver. Good evening, Vincent.
Hello, hello.
Dominic,
Hello.
same.
Okay, so Justin, I've got to ask, you put in such a stonking lap in practice and in qualifying. When was that unexpected? And did you know you had that sort of pace here?
Yeah, I knew I had a pace here. My fastest lap is 42.8 or something like that. It's my PB.
Oh, fantastic.
So, but I didn't get the lap together on the qualifying lap, but it was P6, so it was all good. So yeah.
Excellent. And how was then the race for you in the cockpit? Did you enjoy it, or was that hard work?
I enjoyed it, but it was really hard work to fight. I don't know if you guys saw it, the fighting, but in the first half of the race, I believe it was first lap or maybe second lap, I got like more than 10-second damage, so I had to do the damage in the pit, and yeah, after that I was on P7, yeah, and I couldn't manage it to overtake in front because they were too close to each other, so I could not send it somewhere because it was too dangerous. So yeah, it was a little bit. I was a little bit stuck behind P6 and P5.
Yeah, there was lots and lots of battling all the way up and down the grid, so it was difficult for us then to keep on top of everything. But great to watch. So fantastic. Are you looking forward to Snetterton next round out?
Yeah, I have to practice there pretty much. Didn't drive there at all yet, so we'll see.
Excellent. And Oliver Anderson, how was your race?
You can talk to the other guys first. I have all evening. No worries.
Okay, well, when we've just seen that Dave Jr. and John Baton have joined us in the commentary box. So let's go with our race winner, Dave Jr. Congratulations. We're winning then the first round out. How was then the race for you?
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you for having me. It was pretty good. Can't complain. We managed to bring home the win, which is nice. The car felt pretty good. It was getting a little bit slidey, and John was putting so much pressure on all race. So yeah, no mistakes, and yeah, it was pretty good. No complaints. Pretty straightforward. Pit stop went well, and yeah, we just managed to manage at the end to keep it on track and bring it home. John almost forced us into a mistake there on T1. But yeah, we managed to hold it together there. Great race all around.
And are you looking forward to Snetterton, or is it dead?
Honestly, it's a tricky one. I tend to actually like the trickier tracks. They tend to offer more room for your driver's skill to come about. There's a lot of tricky, slow corners at Snetterton. But not my favorite track, but definitely not the worst. So we'll see what we can do.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we've got lots of drivers to get through, so thank you very much for giving us some excellent racing. Thanks for joining us in the commentary box, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time at Snetterton.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Okay, John Baton, our P2. Fantastic racing. Definitely putting lots and lots of pressure on Dave Jr. there. How was then the race from your vantage point?
Well, actually, it was a bit of frustrating watching the back of that Ferrari constantly. But yeah, I was happy to be able to put some pressure in. I got lucky at the start, of course, with my teammate having an incident with the Porsche in front of me. That opened the gap for me, and then I was able to stay close to Dave. So yeah, that was really good actually. I expected him to run away a little bit, but yeah, he didn't. I was able to keep up, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Fantastic. So what sort of practice have you been putting in, and then the off season leading up to the new championship start?
Well, we changed cars not too long ago, so I was actually going to drive the BMW, so I was completely testing that one, and then we decided to go with the Ferrari, so I didn't have too many laps in. And I changed setup last minute as well, so yeah, that was a little bit tricky. I didn't know where to end up, but yeah, having P2 now is really good for me, of course. Didn't expect that at all.
And a great start to the championship and as well. Are you looking forward to Snetterton, or are you like most drivers and don't have too much experience with it?
Well, I haven't raced there much because yeah, that track rarely gets chosen in championships. But, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's a fun track, I think. Pretty tricky, of course. I have no idea how the Ferrari will perform there, but yeah, we'll see when we get there.
Fantastic. Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you out on track, and best of luck for Snetterton.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. And we're going to head over to Vincent Velsak. Am I pronouncing that right, Vincent?
Almost.
Almost.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it either, to be honest. We say Vilcek. I don't know.
Vilcek.
It's not my mother tongue either.
Okay, Vincent, how was the race from your vantage point? Was a good race for you?
Very good race. As a matter of fact, I think that will be the best result of the season for me already.
It's only round one, Vincent.
Well, yeah, but you know, I don't belong here. I'm always hoping for a P10, and I feel like that's a stretch because yeah, my qualifying performance is always yeah, to be wished for. I mean, P13 is about where I would expect me on qualifying. Pace was alright, but what really worked this time around was the undercut. So I got lucky to avoid the mess at the start somehow. I mean, I didn't really gain a lot of positions, but I just avoided the mess. I started 13, and after lap 1 I was 11th, but at least with no damage. That was good.
Yeah.
And then caught up with the leading group that were 7th, 8th, something like that. And well, I didn't really get stuck behind them. That we all had around the same pace. Who was there? Schalke was there. Schröder was there. We all had around the same pace, but I was going for the undercut anyway. That was my plan from the beginning, because I know how hard overtaking is on this track. As I think you could see the past 20 minutes, everybody behind me on much fresher tires, and even if we had the same tires, they were all much quicker guys with much better pace than me. But yeah, you saw it's incredibly difficult to overtake, and that really saved my ass today in P5. I mean, I also got lucky because a few people crashed out in front of me, but either way, I don't think I can repeat that for now.
Yeah. No, it was something that we were keeping an eye on here in the commentary box. We noticed that you pit you know, very, very early compared to the other drivers around you. It's interesting to know that was planned right from the very beginning because of the difficulty in overtaking around here. So looks like that strategy really, really paid off. Really good work, and we look forward to seeing you out in Snetterton. Are you looking forward to it?
Most definitely. I mean, the Porsche likes those tracks, I think. I'm not so sure. I didn't do too many laps on the new Porsche. As a matter of fact, I think I spent maybe 2 hours in total in this new Porsche ever since.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had to update my sim rig over the summer because my pedals broke, and just
Oh.
after the last race of the season.
Yep.
So I've got it running again this Friday. So the sim has been only on since last Friday.
Wow.
I hope there's more pace to be found in that car. I'm not sure yet. I don't feel too comfortable with it yet. But yeah, so good start. Of course, good start for sure. But I don't think I can repeat that anytime soon. Maybe towards the end of the season, if I'm lucky, if I find the pace in the car. But for now, I think this will be the top result. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, been really, really great to hear then the ins and outs of the strategy decisions, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you out in Snetterton in 2 weeks' time. So, Ben, best of luck getting to grips with the new rig setup, and
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Last but definitely not least, Oliver Anderson. Good evening.
Oh yes, I'm still here. Good evening, Sam. and Dominic, and of course, Grandpa in the background. If he's still here.
Well,
He is.
Asleep.
He is
fell
still
asleep.
here. Yes.
Yes. Of course.
So I know that you were looking forward to this race. So did it pan out as planned, or did it have some surprises in store for you?
It definitely had some surprises in store. I was surprised by my own pace. I was surprised that Nard almost murdered me on lap 1, even though I think he did get some assistance from behind, being punted himself. I was surprised that I got to lap Nard with a lap. Had a little bit of a lot of good battles actually. A super move on I think a red BMW early in the race. A great battling with Dan Lenson later on. A little bit of contact in that battle as well, but it sort of looked like he was cutting me off, but he really wasn't. Top race, I must say. Great action out there, but I need to refine my battling skills a little bit before next time.
Yeah,
I can really feel that I haven't done tier 1 racing before. These guys are much harder than the T2 dudes.
Yeah, when we were commenting during the qualifying, at just how close all of the times were. Then did the closeness of time, did it feel close on track that everyone was of a similar pace?
Yeah, definitely. There was no one really moving backwards and forwards by that much, and you could see a gap. You think you're catching up to someone, but you're really not. Even though that you're giving it your all, and you know the other driver, and then maybe he have an off lap, and then he's back at it again, pulling out. It's crazy. It is really crazy and high concentration in this first split. Yes.
Do you think it makes for harder racing having drivers so close together in skill level?
No, of course not. It makes it easier. Yes, of course, Sam. Jesus Christ. Of course it makes it harder racing. It's much more difficult to get a move done, and you really have to rely on the strength of your own driving and the car that you have chosen. I quickly found out that the McLaren have extremely superior brakes to almost every other car that I was close to, so turn 1 dive bombs was a great way to go. And then a great suck my balls moment with Dan Lenson later in the race was also quite nice. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to say that on stream. I'm not broadcasting today, I can say whatever I want.
Oliver, don't be nasty.
A little bit late, yeah. So Snetterton, next round out. We know that this is, a love it or hate it track, and most drivers hate it. Where do you fall? Are you looking forward to it or not?
Well, it looks like a giant male genitalia, so I'm looking forward to the track, but I honestly, I have never driven the track, so I don't know if I like it or hate it. I haven't driven it in GT3s, GT4s, Cup cars, anything. I've seen races there, but I haven't raced it myself, so right. I'll have to wait and see. I don't think the track will really suit my style of driving. It's very small and very technical, and not a lot of room for any kinds of mistakes, so it'll be a rough one.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing how you get on and your maiden race around Snetterton. So we will let you get on with some practice, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Practice. Well, I thought I would see you next week, Sam.
You will see me next week in commentating.
Yeah, when we get to share a small chat together with Chris.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
All right. Great. Thank you very much for joining us, Oliver.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. Pleasure. It's all yours.
So, Dominic, first round of T1, Tier 1 done and dusted. I don't know about you, but I think if the rest of the season pans out anything like this, we are in for an amazing season of racing.
Yeah, I'm still stunning. It's unbelievable how good this racing was today, how fair by the drivers, and by the pace of the drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So we got amazing pace at the top, in the midfield, as well in the back. So everywhere you're looking, they were a good battle with great pace. I don't know what to say. It's so nice racing, and I really enjoyed it to watch, and looking forward to the next races.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the next round. So, as when we mentioned earlier, Snetterton is our next round out. So we've got Tier 2 from Snetterton next week. Same time, same channel, Tuesdays, kicking off at about 7 o'clock. And then we do it all again the following week for the Tier 1 guys, again around Snetterton, and that will be in 2 weeks' time from tonight. So, thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure that you hit that subscribe and bell icon so that you get notified of all of our live broadcasts here from SSRI. I am Sam Pierce. Join me with Dominic Geese. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a fantastic evening. See you soon. Oh, and of course, Chris Hill. So sorry. Thank you very much, Chris. Amazing work on the cameras, as always. The silent force in the background, definitely crank up. So, yes, couldn't have a broadcast without you, Chris. Thank you very much, and we will definitely be seeing you next week.